In this episode of the Iron Empire, we install a TrueTrack LSD diff in the UC Torana. Plus, we finally make use of those mini tubs we've previously done on the car. And yeah, it's still only a 253. Okay, so we have the back of the Torana all cleaned up, underside perfect, ready to go. So now, I'll try and get this thing in. Whew. Lucky it's not a 9-inch. It's heavy enough. All right, so obviously I want to try and get this thing in as carefully as possible with the underside all cleaned up. Now, I actually remember we had this thing on the hoist down at Jake's Chop Shop. Andrea and I went through the underside, cleaned it all up, stone guarded the whole lot, and it is a really, really clean car. Like everything, like don't get me wrong, it's not mega high level, but it's pretty good. So we took the tank out, 2-packed that all up, beautiful. No drop tank, as you notice. Drop tanks are not my bag. With the stainless steel twin system in there. Everything is pretty much new under here. The only thing that's not new and needs to be done is brand new brake lines, which I'll mock them up on the old tail shaft. And then, the old diff, then we'll fit them in here. So let's just try and slide this in without scratching anything. All right, so I'm absolutely stoked. I've got the diff already sitting in place and basically it's all just bolted in and nothing's tight. I've got the diff and the shocks mounted just so we can get a measurement of the tail shaft, and then I can eyeball how this thing is all looking and where we're going to head with tire size. Now, as you can see, it's looking pretty sick. You know what's making it look so good right now is just the ride height. So it's probably sitting an inch, maybe an inch and a half lower than it was before. And although it kind of looked level before, this is actually level now. So it actually showed that it had a bit of a front end down, which we don't want. We want this thing looking slammed. But of course, we were always governed by these rims. These rims were the wrong offset from the get-go. They're at 8.5. I can't actually remember the back spacing. We'll call it 3.5 backspace, 8.5 rim. We got told they'd fit, but they're really the wrong offset for this car. So that's what snowballed this whole situation. On top of that, we obviously want LSD, so we've gone with the TrueTrack and the billet axles. But what we've got now is a pretty good fitment. Now, you're going to have a bunch of people out there that tell you all these facts and figures. It's a dick's measuring competition of how big a tyres they can fit under their guards. But the difference is, it's the ride height. So I could have put a much bigger tyre on this thing if I was fucking way up in the air. But we want this thing looking tough and slammed. So at the moment, this is literally a 215 on 8.5-inch rim. So it's kind of stretched, and we don't want that. So I'm only going to probably end up, honestly, with the shortening of this diff and the mini tubs. I'm probably only going to gain like probably a 40 mil, maybe only 30 mil of extra tire, which I know a lot of people are probably going to smash me saying that's not worth the effort. But the reality is, for me to go even bigger again, you need to go full tubs. You need to start cutting into the chassis rails, or dicking with different offsets and stuff. Whereas this has a really nice deep dish offset in the rear. And at the end of the day, it's a small car. So if we end up with like a 245 on under this thing with a bunch of clearance and the ride height we have now, that's a huge win, because before I couldn't fit my pinky in there. It would scrape around bends. Where right now I've got like 20 mil of clearance on the outer lip, and there's actually about 25 mil on the inside. So if I had have known, which I could only measure so far, and sort of guess so far ahead, I probably could have gone inboard even a touch more. But as you can see, it is looking so tough, and especially, like I said, the ride height and the clearance, I'm stoked. So I guess now I just got to measure up this thing for a tail shaft, get that measurement out first thing Monday morning, because that's what's going to hold this whole job up now. Meanwhile, I'm going to play with some tyre fitment and continue building this back end, bolting it all together and making it look like new. Got it? All right, so we're measuring up for this tail shaft, and we've got exactly 1365 from the face of the yoke to the seal at the back of the leakiest Trimatic in the world. All right, all good. All right, now we're ready to... Okay, so we're ready to mock up a couple of tyre options on the car. I've been hanging to do this because this is what it all comes down to. The first one is a 245/50/15, and the second is a 245/60/15. Now, what I've calculated is that I'd really like a 245/55, but of course they're obsolete or rare as rock and horse shit. So we've got two more common sizes. Now you'll see that the difference between a 50 profile and a 60 profile is huge. It's like freaking... So the way profiles work is that the profile being, say, 50 or 60 is 60% of the width of the tire. So a 60 profile, like a 215/60, is going to be different than a 245/60. It's all in relation to the width. So, but regardless, both of these tires are much larger than what would have come on this thing factory. So what I've calculated, so what I've found from factory is should be about 175/70/13. So this is almost, this is actually more than 2 inches taller than factory to start with. And that looks short in comparison to that. This is more so what was on it to start with. We got a 195 up the front, but this is about the same height as that. So this will probably suit the car better, but we got two options to play with anyhow. You see, this is pretty snug. That's fine. Sweet. A 60 profile is going to be pretty bloody
monstrous.
Pretty monstrous. It might actually just be too much tyre. Like, realistically, it might even look a bit funny being such a massive tyre in the back, like height as well. Like, sometimes getting the scale is more important than hot. You know, it's like not all about size, I guess. Alright, this is gonna be a big birthday.
Full dry.
Freaking, that is like we're going drag racing. This is what you'd expect to see on a car with 1,000 horsepower, not the
200.
Not 200, probably 150 really, let's be fair. This is insane. Look better? It's going to look way better once it's actually down. That actually looks fatter. I'll tell you what, that looks fatter. For some reason, the smaller profile.
Yeah, it does.
Dog hair. Look at this. Up close. I look like a freaking border collie. All right, so I'm really happy. We've got some nice clearance here. This is where I've done some of the mini tubbing. I've got like 20 mil in there. I've got a little bit more in the front. Honestly, I probably could have got away without even tubbing the front half if you're doing this yourself. It probably was a bit of overkill, but we've done it anyway. So both of these tyres so far, we're at full droop. They do fit, and I'm really happy with all the clearance we've got going on. So obviously this diff is all just mocked up, but it's in place perfectly. So now we can lower this thing down and see you know, a little bit more. But realistically, we're not going to know until. You can never really know until we drive it, but we can't drive it until we've got a tail shaft. So. We've got no spring, what?
Oh, we've got no springs either.
We've got no springs, so we can just lower it to the height that we expect to run it. And I feel like we're on something already. What's going on? Is that just like mega slammed at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just look good.
Oh, fucking Jesus. Oh, it actually does look freaking good. Nah, it's touched in there though, so that's
out.
That's probably going to be out. But that is ridiculously low, like more than it's going to ride. Yeah, the other side actually looks better, doesn't it?
What, the other?
The other side is actually tucking really, really hard. So the other thing as well, once we want to, obviously the bigger tyre you have on, the more it has to tuck up into the guard to make the car sit level, because obviously you've got more height here. So if we run the other tyre, which we're still not sure where we're going to go, we have to get that other side, well, the car in the back probably maybe an inch lower. So we're going to start running into, you know, travel of suspension issues. So we're going to be like pretty much close to bump stops, and then we're going to be reducing our drivability. So we have to really make the right decision here.
This looks good. A little bit of clearance.
Yeah, not massive, but just enough. So, have you stood back and had a really good look?
Yes.
So it actually looks ridiculous, like ridiculously good.
Looks like you're lying about what motor's in the car.
Oh. Okay, so I think we've decided what way we're going to go with these tyres, and it's going to be the bigger option. So I figure I can always go smaller. The worst that's going to happen, we're going to get a bit of scrubbage on the inside of the wheel arch, on the tub on the inside. So we're going to go get the last tyre swapped out today, so they can go on, and then basically go on with fitting this thing back together. I'm just going through fiddling with some brake lines and stuff. I thought I'd get a coat of paint on this tail shaft finally had made. I had this tail shaft made here in Adelaide by a place that's been around forever. Everyone uses another place over in Melbourne, very common in the car scene. I didn't use that option because this place was a lot cheaper. However, I've paid for it another way. I had to wait a lot longer. That was an issue. Secondly, the paint job is the worst thing I've ever seen. So we're now standing in the house that I'm building, and I'm going to paint it in here because there's nowhere else. The shed's full of cars. The weather is still too unpredictable, so I'm going to paint it in the lounge room. So let's hang this thing up and give this thing a proper coat of paint, because this absolutely sucks. All right, nearly ready to go. Just give this thing a little quick etch prime where there's a few little bits of bare metal showing. You know, the funny thing about this is that to do the job with a better result is the same amount of work. Like, they're already cleaning it. Well, you'd think they probably haven't done that good a job. This is all going to go together with it's probably going to be oily off the lathe. There's probably grease when they put it together. They probably do a half-hearted job of cleaning it, and then paint it with like a shitty, probably enamel, just so it sticks onto everything. Because obviously they're doing new and used tail shafts. Some of this stuff is literally just scratching off. Anyway, I just feel like using a better product like a satin black would require the same amount of work, but with a way better result. But these guys don't care. I know it's kind of a little thing in the scheme of things, is that at the end of the day, if this tail shaft works and it's balanced up nicely and does the job, that's the most important thing. But while you're already there, maybe have some pride in the presentation of your work. And like always, guys, I always go the first coat, kind of a dust coat. You want to go kind of light. Don't just pile it on. If you want to get into painting and start learning how to do this stuff, start with satin black. This is your absolute best friend. Get away with murder. Okay, so we're finishing off the assembly of this diff. I'm putting all these nuts and bolts, all the fixings, everything back electroplated as we did with the diff. It's all looking really nice under there, but of course we couldn't throw on the old crusty brake lines that were original, so we're throwing on some brand newies. Brand new Bundy line with new fittings, new, shiny and perfect. Now these are not purchasable, well, that I know of. Maybe they are, but I'm making them. So I've got myself a roll of Bundy line, which is brake line, and some brand new fittings for each end. And I'm making some little templates with some wire. So I'm going in there, making it all up, sort of following the factory routing, but we're trying to make it as neat as possible. I've marked the end there to know my length, and a little bit of playing around. And then basically you just go through and replicate that onto your Bundy line. So now that one's ready to go. I'm gonna go and make the long side, and hopefully I can show you how I do it and my little tool in which to do the flares. One step closer. So here we got the brand new roller pipe. Get this from the local brake supplier. So you want to roll it off. You can get a tool that stretches this out nice and straight, but I don't got it, so we'll just work with our hands. Now I've got our template here. It doesn't reach the end, but right there I know that's where my last little kick is that straightens out, so that's fine. Now to get my length, I'm going to use this as a template, and I'm going to go along and mark each bend, mark it, bend it, mark it, bend it, mark it, and that will get my length, and it also will mark the bend points. Okay, so this is going to be awkward as hell because I've got shit everywhere here. And of course you want to leave a little bit on the end to do your flare, so you know, leave an extra 0.5 centimetre, 5 mil or so. 1/4 inch. Okay, so now I have the shape all ready to go. I'm pretty happy with it. You can honestly spend so long just manipulating this with your fingers and dicking around to get it as good as you can. You want to leave enough room on the end here to perform your little maneuver when it comes to putting your nuts on. So do not, everyone's done this. They've done this. I guarantee everyone's done this. You forget that. Do not forget that, because you'll be cutting it off and you'll be dicking around even more. So anyway, I use this little guy. It is for 316, more so for brake line. You can get multi-purpose ones with different sizes, and honestly, I've never really had great success. I'd love like a bench mounted one, but these little ones are super handy. It's just like an eBay special. I won't run through exactly how to do it, but more or less just slide it in, bolt it up, crimp down your fitting. Look, I nearly done it without it again with this. Hose goes in, it's marked where to go. Really simple, marked in there where to stop. This is a double flare kit, so the tool goes in and flares the pipe inboard, and then it does another flare where it pushes it, buries it into a V. So you got to make sure you get that orientation right first crack. Use plenty of grease on it. You don't want to, it will very easily sort of maul the end of the metal. You want to grease it up really good so it slips. Simply wind this bad boy in. It is awkward. I've got pipe flicking around the workshop here. All right, that's seated. You don't have to go nuts, just till it nips up. Take this out, flip it around, back in the grease. Oh, that's a lot of grease. Boom, nipped up. And that should be a perfect double flare. Repeat the process and we're ready to slide this bad boy in. All right, boom, perfect. And then you can just run over the end of it. It still does get a little bit of, that does leave a little bit of a mark on it. So I usually just run it on the Y wheel, round it all off, repeat the process, and we go for it. Okay, so this is dry. The 2-pack did sort of react a little bit with the enamel, bit of crow's feet, but still hell of a lot better than what they done at the supply place. And besides, have you ever seen a tail shaft 2-packed in a lounge room? No, only here at the On Empire you'll get that. So let's slip this in the car. Got brand new U-bolts put in, and then it's just a matter of wheels on, set the ride height, and then we can actually test drive this thing. So so I think we're pretty much wrapped up with all the install in the back end, including shortening up the bump stops in order to get some more travel. We've gone with big boy tires. Hopefully we have no issues. I'm not going to bother putting on the center caps for our test drive because I'm like, yeah, take them back off. Well, hopefully not, but if this TrueTrack works, I'd also maybe like try and throw on some stockies and see how good it works. But for now, let's just get this thing on the ground and work out a ride height. It's pretty much the last piece of the puzzle. Hopefully we can get this thing sitting nice and level with enough clearance to, yeah, have some drivability as well. He's gonna look so good. Okay, so that is currently sitting on the nothing, but it's only about 10 mil off the diff snubber, which I already cut down by, probably a good inch. I cut an inch out of that thing. Ride height is always the biggest challenge when trying to go big. I better start cutting some springs. Oh, hang on. We might be in business. Oh, shit, we're close. We are close. That's interesting. So I fluked it, maybe. Half a coil on this side, not quite half on the other side. It was always lower. Looks like it's sit where I want it. Okay, so I've run a tape measure over the car, and this side is still sitting higher than the other side. It's all over the place. The back is about 12 mil higher, half an inch higher in the back than the front, which is not really what I want. But at this stage, I can't afford to go any lower because I'm sort of only 10 mil off the bump stop. So I want to just give this a test and see how it goes, and then we can address what to do from there. I think to rectify the lean in the car, I need to bring the front right-hand wheel up, guard up. So I think that maybe I might end up putting, either rotating the spring, maybe might get a bit more purchase on it, a bit more tension. Otherwise, a little shim or a new spring or whatever. Once that side's up, it will at least level the car, and then we can sort of get back to ride height. But so far, I'm really happy. It's tucked up there nicely. We've got a bee's dick of clearance everywhere. There's no way we would have fit this size wheel in there before, not without tubbing it and not without moving that shocker. So everything so far that I've done has worked. Just a matter of if it survives a road test. Looks way better. Oh man, this has been a long time coming. I've been obviously working on it between other projects, and it's finally on the road. I'm super nervous, hope everything works. There's no funny noises. There was already funny noises, but I had confidence in the car. But now, with all that new rear end, so many things can go wrong. And I built this thing, so we'll see, hey. So I've just gone for a drive down the forest, and so far it's all right. There's a little bit of a metallic knock every now and again. Not too worried about it. Would like to find it, but yeah, it's so far so good. It's driving a lot nicer than it used to. It did have a really pretty consistent vibration above about 90. So we've never really done more than about 90 k's an hour in this car. There's still something there slightly, so it could be a wheel. There was a little bit of a ding in the wheel. So yeah, maybe it's still a wheel thing, so I might swap that out, see if we can isolate that. But otherwise, so far so good. I'm really happy with how it's going. Yeah. All I guess there's left to do now is just put some Ks on it and see how it all handles. I really do think I need to sort out the right hand spring and get that thing sitting level, and then we can get a good baseline and start going from there. But overall, pretty happy. I would like the rear to be down a little bit more. It is a bit up high. Don't know. Let's just one thing at a time. So far, I'm stoked. I guess there are two other things I really do need to sort out and make sure are right. I guess I want to make sure that Andrea's happy with the car first and foremost, because this is hers, and secondly, we've got to see if it doesn't burn out. Still does a burnout. Okay, that won't do. We're gonna have to do better than that. It's time to put some stockies on this thing. It is amazing the size difference from stock to what we went with. Ridiculous. So this motor was in a KE Corolla burnout car, and as you can see, this thing does top gear burnout. It's absolutely awesome, and it is so far from tuned properly. The fact that this thing has been so doughy since the day we put on the road, I think is what saved the diff from blowing. But now that we've got that TrueTrack installed, it's going to cop a bit of a hiding. So yeah, this thing is a lot of fun. Okay, so there it is, the TrueTrack diff install in the UC Torana. Absolutely pumped on how this thing has come out. We're finally making use of those mini tubs now. We've got 245 60s under the back. I want to play with the ride height a little bit, but that's going to happen after we get a few more Ks in this car, make sure everything is sweet. Finished off the Red Bulls now, got to look at mint. Now it's time to get this thing back to the shed before the rain comes in again. you like this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you on an upcoming episode. Cheers, guys.